Hey YouTube land, welcome once again to another action figure review by Tycondrius. Now today we're looking at a figure line by Spero Toys, or Spero Studios, and this is Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Now I've looked at a couple of these figures before, namely the Tiberius one, and I think the other one I looked at before is, I'm not sure if he's actually on the back of the packaging. A Treu, I think it is. It's one of the kind of lion-like figures. In fact, I have him here. Actually, I don't think this is a Treu. It's one of the other ones, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But I have looked at figures before, so I managed to pick up two of these figures. So I have these in both configurations, so I don't have to swap parts around. But we'll have a quick look at the packaging. So the packaging has Ohio Toy Comic Show in the corner, or Toy and Comic Show. I think these might have been exclusive to that. They've done a few exclusives. You can see Roma collectibles as well, ages 15 and up. These are done in collector style packaging. What that means is, or collector friendly packaging. So instead of having to rip open the packaging, you can open up the top here, slide the card back out, and you have access to the figure inside without having to rip open any blister cards off the packaging. You also have a little handle here, so if you want to keep it minting card and have it hanging on a peg, you can do so. And on this is series 1, collect them all. Now, as far as I know, this 4-inch line is coming to an end, sadly. So they are concentrating on a 6-inch line. There is a deluxe line as well, which are supposed to be in scale to the 4-inch figures, which are slightly larger than the 4-inch. They're supposed to be bigger creatures. But on the back of this you have Pale, Kali, Atreu, Chinurai, Soldier, Horrid Assassins, Horrid Knights, Toxus, Tiberius, Cruelor, and Scraps. These guys are called Tomans, the Bog Warrior. Omnivores known for their... Actually, if I just bring my camera back a bit, bear with me a moment. I'll bring this back down so you should be able to read it. Hopefully the light won't be in the way. So basically, mythos is the Animal Warriors of the Kingdoms take place in a mysterious realm where animals have evolved in the absence of humanity. The land is filled with animals of all shapes and sizes, some that fight for good, others that fight for the darkness. Character overview is the Tomans, the Bog Warriors, omnivores known for their emerald-coloured fur due to their diet consisting mainly of moss and bog. The Bog Warriors are a fierce tribe of felines living in the southern swamps of the animal kingdom. Governed by their chieftain Tomans, the Bog Warriors protect their land and with great tenacity from all who would be trespassers. So let me just readjust my camera there. So that is pretty much it for the packaging. As I said, I picked up two of these. So you have some cool artwork of the figure. Now the figure, when you get him, comes with the standard head, which is this kind of feline, kind of almost ape-like head. So there is that. You have this alternate head, which is a helmet head. So you get one alternate head. You don't get any alternate hands, but you do get a good few weapons for these. So the weapon they show them using on the cover of the box is this cool, I'd almost call it a mace. I'm not sure if you'd call it a mace. It's like a big two-handed stick with spikes all over it, and you can get them to hold them in their two hands. So you just have to position it in the right way for them to hold it. You can hold it quite nicely. What you also get is this other kind of another mace, which is probably the best way to describe it. So it has this big kind of fist on it, or a big punchy fist on it. So I haven't seen this with any other figures. I do have a couple of the other figures. They mostly came with swords, and one of them came with size. So these are the only ones I have so far which have different weapons. And you get these bows. Now the bow does not have a string attached. If you wanted to, it does look like if you had string, you could probably string the bow yourself. There is no arrows, which are a quiver with arrows, which is a little shame. They do have peg holes on their backs. It would have been nice for them to come with maybe a quiver of arrows for the bow, but they come with exactly what they come with. So the armor on these things are removable. So if you wanted to strip down the figure to its kind of bare essentials, you can pop off the leg armor, which is just clipped in. You'd have to maneuver the shoulder armor enough so that it would pop over when you're swapping the head out. You could actually just, if I can do it on screen, it is a bit of a pain to swap out these heads. You could just probably lift it over that and pop it out. The heads are on a peg system, so they just peg into place. Arms can rotate all the way around and can raise up that much. There's not much armor in the way on these guys. On some of the figures they have shoulder armor that do hinder that up motion a bit, but for these guys they don't. You have a single hinged elbow with a swivel. It can rotate all the way around. You have wrists with a hinge, so you have a horizontal hinge on this, on the left hand, and you have a vertical hinge on the right. So you don't have the same hinge on both hands. Unfortunately, there's no swappable hands. I know some of the figures came with optional hands, which I think gave you the option of a closed fist. I think there might have been a grip or an open splayed hand as well. But these guys come kind of fairly bare in accessory wise. This skirt piece is a separate piece. The best way to probably take it off would be to heat up the figure, pop the waist off, then pull this up over the waist and pop it out that way, or probably heat up and pop the legs off at the hips, but I think you get caught with the waist piece. So there is that. They have dual jointed knees, which is pretty nice. You have feet, bare feet. They do have peg holes on the bottom of their feet. You have a hinge on the ankle. It's not a rocker hinge, it's just a forward and back hinge, but you do have rotation as well. And you have an upper diaphragm cut. You don't have a waist cut, so the best way to do waist swivel is at the top here, and your head is on a ball joint, so you get a good lot of range of movement on these heads. You get back, forward, so you can get back that much, down that much, side to side, get good tilts. And with the other head in place, just move him back, you get pretty much the same range of articulation. You can do a 360, you can get up that much, down that much, not up much up and down on the kind of standard head, but you get a bit more range of movement on the helmeted head. So for these guys, they do stack up quite well with other figures of this line. Well, I'm just going to grab my tape measure so I can bring in tape measure so you can see what height they are. So these do stand around the 4-inch mark. So for other figure lines, I'll bring in the other figures that I have from this series first. So I'm trying to remember what this guy's name is, and I can't off the top of my head, but here's the Tiberius one. You can see they do share kind of similar armor parts, and the heads are kind of similar. So like the base bodies on these are all tend to be pretty much the same, just cast in different colors, and you get different accessories and different armor. Like for this guy, you get 2 of these gauntlet pieces, where you only get one with Tiberius here. The leg ones are different. You get the same leg ones on these 2, but you don't get the same with the guys with the Tomans. In fact, Tiberius's other weapon, if I can get it out, it's a bit finicky to get into his back. It does plug into his back, but it does pop out quite easily. There's a peg hole on his back, but it comes with a big sword as well. He also came with a helmeted version of the head, and I think this guy as well did come with a helmet version. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure where those are at the moment. But that is if you watch my review for this guy, you should see that helmeted head. So for a scale comparison, I'll bring in some other figures. So I'll bring in good old Captain Eagle from the Eagle Force line, which I have yet to do a review of. I will get around to doing that soon. I will bring in the Predator, the Jungle Hunter Predator from Hiya Toys, so you can see the height on those. I'll bring in one of the mercenaries from the Jurassic World line. Let me see if I can get this guy to stand back up again. And if I can get my Bib Fortuna from Star Wars, it will give you a scale for a Star Wars figure as well. And here's Bib Fortuna. Just stand him in the background, and then for a core or core elite style figure, or one of the cores, you can see them scaling in that way. Overall, a really good figure line. At the time of this recording, they are doing kind of a clearance sale on some of the 4-inch figures, so it depends on what they have in stock. In fact, if you go to the Spero Studio, www.sperostudio, I think it's supposed to be .com. If you do a Google search for it, you should be able to find them. You should be able to see what is still available from their clearance sale. Hopefully they have a few bits and pieces. I do want to get more of these figures, and I probably will. I picked these ones up from eBay because they were pretty cheap at the time. They were about 12 euros each, not including shipping and postage and all that sort of crack. But I picked the two of them up together because they were so cheap, and it gave me a good opportunity to be able to show them both together the same with their different accessories. Overall, really cool figure line. I'm not sure what else I can say about them. I don't know too much about the backstory. I think there might be a comic for these. I could be wrong, but I know the guy who designed them did a really good job on designing the overall appearance and likeness of these, and the newer figures that they're working on looks really, really cool as well. The larger ones, you could probably get away with using the larger figures in this line as well as bigger creatures. As I said, they're animals of all shapes and sizes, so you could get away with that. But overall, really good line, and I hope you enjoyed this video and it was informative. And if, as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Cheers guys.